because 639 is the sacred Salvatio frequency for connecting and relating. So we forgot to do a card. So we felt the need to do more connecting and relating. So if you look here, 639 Hertz, connecting and relationship. So it's Tesla code, connecting and relating, and it's through the time 1639. So we are just going to pull one oracle card from each of these 3 decks. Which you can't really see, kind of see there. So we've got the Chinese element. First of all, we had these down to the side and we forgot that we wanted to pull a card, and so we're just coming on quickly. Look at that, isn't the back of these cards beautiful? This is the first time I've used this deck. Chinese 5 element oracle. So what is the card? Is there one that's going to get given, or do we have conscious choice and free will? That was too many. Conscious choice and free will. So there we go. So we'll turn that over before we do the next one. Wood pig. Moving up the vortex, number 12. So we feel that's really amazing energies, considering it's the 3rd eye today. You've got the spiral vortex, you've got the figure of 8 loop going on here, all stuff we just talked about in that previous video. And we tend to do the top of the pack for the spectrum of energies that's been danced within. Metal snake, embrace the great transformation, number 18. 18 relates to the moon, snakes, kundalini, and Scorpio energies. It's the bridge, Scorpio and Pisces, the bridge between Celtic and Native American astrology. And the unaware, unseen, focus on your vision, water rat, number 49. So you've got more vortex energies of the sea there, metal snake and water rat. So we're going to go down into the atomic, more microcosm, and see what we absolutely are loving these cards at the moment. We really do love the periodic table and the elements. So what guidance comes from the atomic element healing oracle for the Mercury in Cancer energies tonight at 11:58 p.m. British summertime? Okay, please, have you got one there for us, or is it going to be conscious free will choice? Thank you. There we go. Carbon, foundation. These Mercury in Cancer energies are providing a really deep, nurturing foundation, number 39. We'll read the cards in a minute. You've got Ganesha here, there, the elephant god, born from Shiva, Shakti and Shiva, the masculine and the feminine, which goes back to that Kundalini again. The conscious aware spectrum scene of energies is acceptance, dysprosium, number 19. So are you accepting yourself fully, compassionately and unconditionally lovingly, because that's where it comes from. And the unseen, unconscious spectrum of energies being danced within is order, beryllium. So that's awesome, because subconscious order. And then bringing in the Tree of Life oracle for the last support guidance. We will read from the books briefly once we've got all the cards given to us, to see what these wonderful... We were going to try and get that wood out of the bottom of the chair then, but the foam will fall off the little stool. So thank you, the Tree of Life oracle, for giving us the most optimum guidance for the collective, embracing these energies to help us dance to the optimum full potential of the Mercury in Cancer transit happening tonight. Oops, there we go. Got 3 from these turned over straight away. Look at that. The soul triangle. The triangle in sacred geometry is the mothering energies, the mystical soul-led in harmony. Chaste mercy, abundance, gratitude, and big ideas. So that's abundance coming up again. And this is Jupiter. We were saying how tomorrow Jupiter is moving into Cancer. Perfectly aligned there. And then we've got 27th path, the Tower. Courage, faith, and fighting spirit. So we're moving through these energies with courage and faith and trust. And the top of the pack spectrum of energies, we're dancing within there. 26th path, the Devil, truth, illusion, and trust. For us, the Devil, it's Capricorn energies, the skin, the bones, the ligaments, the knees, the backbone. And it relates to, for us, Pratyahara, the 5th limb of yoga, freedom from the desires of the senses, which means we are earthly beings. It's about enjoying our sensory systems, but being able to take it or leave it, and not it being a necessity to fill a void, or fill an empty space, because the empty space is actually space. It's the 99.99999% of the atom, which is space. That is where everything happens. And earlier in that reading before, it was, where's the high? Mercury, the magician, which is the Mercury card and Rider-Waite, but actually in the Dali Tarot, it is the High Priest, 5. Now, 5 is the Hierophant. If you go to the Osho Zen Tarot, that is the nothingness card. And nothingness is everything. It's the black void. So it's when we change the perception of the empty void needing to be fulfilled into fulfillment. It doesn't need to be filled anymore. We can take it or leave it and just enjoy it in moderation. Number 14, the Temperance card. Although Temperance is Aquarius in the Dali Tarot rather than the Sagittarius in the Rider-Waite. 14, moderation, needs 14, self-discipline, the opposites of the figure of 8 loop. So this is 5, Jabura, severity, might, discipline, and karma, because it does take self-devotion and discipline to be able to do 41, self-discipline with moderation, 14, to free ourselves from the desires of our senses and just be able to enjoy it for what it is. So let's read these cards from the book, because the books can hold, we'll get them more in the picture. The books can hold really good nuggets, we find sometimes, especially for us, and helping us grow our language. So we'll do number 4. No, we'll do the soul triangle because that came out first. And it doesn't have numbers on all of these. So thank you for, there it is, bearing with us and being patient. The soul triangle, mystical soul-led harmony. A triangle between Jebra. Hold on, didn't Jebra come out? Yes. So it's a science triangle between Jebra, which is that one that came out as the subconscious spectrum of energies being danced with him. Chased, and that's cheesed. So we've already got 2 aspects of the triangle, Mars and Jupiter, that came out. Mars, when does Mars shine? Mars does change sign into Virgo. I think that's that July the 7th. We have to check on that. We just did all these notes earlier, but it was on a different one of us. So triangle between Jebra, cheesed, and Tippereth. Excuse pronunciation. Might, mercy, and harmony. Combining these forces to find a way through may not always be easy, but will produce soul growth. And as the soul grows, the seas calm and problems are handled with ease. Yes, please. Thank you very much. Features. This middle triangle truly embraces the principles of the soul, understanding, might, and mercy. Hi, Rebe. This is a collective reading, so it includes Capricorn. Capricorn is actually, though, ruled by the Devil card, and we did just mention that at the start. No, we're shaky because we're kneeling. But we'll take a drink and we'll get our seat. We don't have the strength in our body quite yet, and we are working on it daily. Even though working on it daily means breath work sometimes. There we go. Thank you, Rebe, for reminding us there. Hi, Hudra. Apologies for pronunciation if we got it wrong. We're self-taught in a lot of this through experience and reading and watching others, and using a lot of our own intuition and insights. Guidance. You're in the worlds of mystical connections here. The worlds of the Lords of Karma and the Lords of Peace, of your holy guardian angel. These forces are presenting you with a choice, a way forward that is soul-led. It may not be easy, but you'll know what must be done. Maintaining a sense of magic in your life isn't easy, and how wonderful, because this is for Mercury in Cancer, which is about the magician and magic. What? Maintaining a sense of magic in your life isn't easy, and here you're reminded to check in with the world around you for happenstance, guidance that appears in your life and makes you smile as you recognise the guides and masters that are walking with you. You could become aware of a harsh reality, a gentle nudge, the calm before a storm, or any other combination of the might and mercy of the universe as you make your way through the energy of this card. You alone must decide what energy is needed, where and when. Silent contemplation could help you hear the voice of your soul. The uncomfortable truths that sit in your body won't go away until they are recognised and acted upon. And so actually also, Rebe, the shaking in our voice is not just because of the body, it's also because of anxiety and nerves. So this is us facing fears when we do stuff like this each time. And when we embrace and open ourselves up to the collective energetics, the energy that rushes through our body, and having Ehlers-Danlos syndrome can be quite a combination. So we have to take it gently with it each time. The devil means love because the devil needs love. That's a beautiful perspective. We absolutely love that one. But also, I mean, it's deeply, they're all interconnected with everyone. All the cards are deeply interconnected. We don't have the devil card out, but the devil card, if you study these two cards next to each other and compare them, you'll see the similarities. So they're definitely, so yeah, spot on. Good means bad and bad means good. You've got it. You're understanding that paradox. Oh boy, oh, the paradox, eh? What our way of, how do we describe? We love this description. We really struggled with the whole paradox thing decades ago. So if you've got your seesaw and you've got your duality, this is good, this is bad. This is the linear logical mind. It's the masculine energies. It's the structure and the organization. It's the left brain hemisphere. But in the wholeness of everything, in the unseen energetics, in the universe, things aren't linear and logic. It's a circle. And so I don't want to put that onto the cards. When you've got your circle, which you can't quite see from there. Oh, here we go. Got exactly the right thing. When you get your seesaw of the linear logical, good on one end, bad on the other, when you bring it into the circular spiral vortex reality, the polar opposites, the duality, become one and the same thing. And so therefore, you're exactly right. Good is bad and bad is good because they're one and the same thing. But for us, we all have to individually have that experience not just through the intellectual mind, but through the body experience as well, to really grasp understanding of it. And it's, for us personally, it's a constantly evolving journey through many lifetimes and many energies. And so the next card, we're not going to read these ones. We'll read 4, Choose Mercy, because that came up in that soul triangle. So 4, Choose Mercy. Thank you. Number 4. Oh, we just heard a really good thing from someone that channeled the Arcturians the other day. And he said something that we've been gaining information on as well. How did he structure it? He said, when you've got like the numbers in their energetic form in this unseen, or from a human form perspective, in this subtle energetic unseen dimension, the spiritual dimension, it doesn't look like a 4, it isn't experienced as a 4 or a 6 or a 3. It's not experienced as that form until it comes through the human form lens. That's us paraphrasing. It's Dr. Clemens, and it's on the most recent video with Pam Gregory if you want to watch it. But he did a really lovely description of that at near the end. Number 4 on the Tree of Life, Chesed, is where you meet the Lords of Peace. And as they balance the Lords of Karma from Jabura, you're being asked to find peace after a conflict, or to prevent one. Jupiter is the planet here, a planet of abundance and wisdom. Features the main figure is a king, a wise, benevolent, and loving king. Seated on his throne, he dispenses wisdom and gifts to those who seek his counsel and can use it wisely. Guidance can be support, be it from family, friends, or the universe, is something we could all use now and again. This card suggests you've forgotten to ask for it. Ask now and look and listen for the signs that will guide you. And so for us personally, with our dissociative identity disorder and our mental health, we're not actually always able to remember or know to ask for it in the moment when we need it. So when we do our connecting in with nature, connecting in with our body, our meditations, be it a passive active or an active passive, we're always saying that, you know, we are asking for help whenever we need it, even if we're not asking for it. It's something that flows in and through always, so that in those moments of a trauma state paralysis, we are still able to receive that help and that support from the unknown, even if we're not able to ask for it. So that might be something that you could tweak and apply to yourselves, irrelevant of the situation, because we don't always remember to ask in the moment. But just because we don't remember to ask in the moment through that linear, logical system way, doesn't mean we're not in a position not to receive. And sometimes we're receiving, even though it doesn't feel like we're receiving. Sometimes it comes in hindsight and reflection, and after some time's passed, for integration. As we put our faith in this higher aspect of ourself, magical creatures are waiting to carry our goals to fruition on their backs, wings and tails. A new guide may be moving in, a teacher to help you through a particular phase, or remind you of your talents and encourage you to go for it. This is a time to go big, not to take unnecessary risks, but to realise a goal you've been waiting for. It's a moment to bring an abundance practice into play, to develop a positive outlook that will be returned to you in magical ways. A spiritual master could appear to you to assist you. What a great compliment. No, we're reading from the book at the moment, lovely. Everything's made up anyway. Everything stems from the imagination. So it just depends the personal connections to definitions of terminology. We're going to read Gerber as well, because that came into it, and that was the bottom unconscious spectrum of energies being danced in. That bit we make up. The spectrum of energies, the top and bottom of the pack, that's the polarities that you talk about, where good is bad and bad is good, either end of the linear that then becomes the circle. 5, Gerbera. So this is us just reading from the book on this as well, to get some extra bits of gems and gold nuggets. Gerbera, severity, might, discipline and karma. Number 5 on the tree of life. Gerbera is home to the lords of karma. The planet is Mars. You're operating on a soul level here, so the choices you make have far-reaching consequences. A warrior queen ready for battle. She reminds you to choose your battles wisely. Can you see that's describing what's the picture on the card there? Have the courage to keep moving forward, and when needed, go full. She-Ra. Yeah, it takes practice. Yes, you can. Get the cards and embrace the cards and sit with them and look at the imagery, and you can watch people and see how other people decipher things. Like a circle is feminine, a line is masculine. So there is lots of traditional systems of information out there already, but that's why we said in our other video just before with the tarot, is about authenticity and intuition. So you may sit down with cards and start receiving information by looking at it, and it may come from your own personal experiences in life. You may just look at a number, and if you set an intention and breathe into it, that number may take you back to a certain age and a certain experience that happened at that age. So there's all kinds of different avenues into it and out of it, and it's just about trusting yourself and trusting what you see and feel and hear internally in your subjective reality and externally in the objective reality. Remembering that what's outside of us is a reflection of our internal and vice versa. And it's all about perception and how our perceptions can get distorted through life experiences, and growing and evolving takes us through the transformation into transcendence through adapting and evolving and changing certain perceptions that don't create harmony within our life between our physical body, our heart body, our mental body, our emotional body. And we can tell if there's harmony because of how the life is being lived out. Are we receiving balance and calm and peace and love and money, or are we receiving fear and lack of money and worry and hiccups and stuff going wrong in our life? And we can tell there are always challenges and hiccups in life, but the same challenge can face two different people, and one will be able to have the natural mindset of it not impacting them in a severely negative way, whereas it could impact the other in a severely negative way. And that can come from childhood trauma, generational, intergenerational trauma, and all kinds of things. There is no good or bad in it, because that's a tangible duality reality. There just is what is, and there's acceptance and unconditional love and compassion for what is without judgments. And for us personally, that's what we've had to use, leaving our family and our society criticism and judgment, and having to be an academic behind, and trusting and developing our own feminine nurturing energies, which is the Cancer energies, the Mercury in Cancer, changing signs into Cancer tonight. That is helping us to move through that, because we grew up with our father and a brother who is very masculine energy dominant, although masculine and feminine energy is in all of us, irrelevant of the gender of the body. Guidance. Do you want to get your dragon slayer on, ready to meet the demands of life with the ferocity of Mars at your back and a basilisk to the force? External events can often make us free, like this, but do you know what you're fighting for, or even with? When this card appears, you're being asked to be clear about what you want and the consequences of the actions you take, all of them. You're also being asked to put everything you've got into seeing something through gracefully. While your initial reaction may be to disregard the feelings of anyone who gets in your way, how will that feel further down the line? Grace isn't always something that comes wrapped in ribbons and bows. You can be graceful and courageous, assertive and loving. You could have set some karmic points in your life that are now being activated. Remember, karma isn't only what happens to you, it's how you react to what happens to you. So that's what we were talking about, the different mindsets of the same challenge to two different people. For us, transcendence is choosing to become responsive human beings, not just reactive to the energies. And so when we start learning about the energies at play that are in the current sky, through, not necessarily always through astrology and natal charts, it could be through Carl Jung and psychology and shadow work and individuation. There's many different avenues one can go into the self-awareness practice of hindsight and reflection and understanding our part in the journey. And that can be really challenging, especially to things that have happened to us as children, really dark things that happen to us as children when we're children that are vulnerable. And so that's where taking an out of body spiritual perspective, where we've chosen the path that we're in human form, can help support, but then being able to assimilate the spiritual perspective with the human into a balance. We're still navigating that one, so we're not going to say any more on it. We'll say more on that down the line. And if you want to know more of what we're talking about, you can always go to we use YouTube as part of our individuation journey, and you can go to each of our channels description if you want to understand more of our experiences and what we're talking about. So we're now going to go into the 27th path, the Tower, which is really interesting because the Tower card in the tarot actually belongs to Mars, and so there's a very strong connection between these two we're seeing here as well. But we're also getting a very strong connection to Kundalini energy, but Kundalini energy, rather than going up the Sushumna and the central channel of the spine, and we were just talking before how it was the spine and neck galactic activation portal a few days ago on the galactic calendar. This is actually the Kundalini energy has managed to integrate and extend out from the central channel of the Sushumna and the central nervous system out to the peripheral nervous system. And Gemini is a Mercury Gemini, the magician. Mercury is the ruler of the nervous system. So this again is actually pretty profound and amazing alignment. We're going to look forward to watching these back, because when we watch them back, the amount of information that we can see and channel when we're watching them back, because we're not in a high anxiety state, is just awesome. It's like, why didn't all that come out when we were doing the reading? But that's where it would, if we continue to do readings and continue to regulate and balance our nervous system, that will come out more. We just do them when we're called to. 27, the 27th path. The Tower, courage, faith, and fighting spirit. See, for us, we don't really like that word, fighting spirit. We'd say more like dancing with spirit. Complicated dance steps, dance moves. Running between Hod and Netzach. We haven't done much work with the Tree of Life, and so therefore pronunciation isn't the best. But we prefer to give it a go than not at all. This path is Mars in astrology. It crosses the Tree of Life between thoughts and feelings, showing not only where you swing from one to the other, but what happens if you find the middle ground and let your emotions inform your thoughts and your thoughts understand your emotions. A tower can only be built as high as its foundations can stand. Where's the foundation card? Hold on. We just need, pretty sure. Yeah, look at that. How amazing. In the, is that the 5? No, that's not the 5. That's the atomic elements healing. So we got foundation come up in the atomic elements, which I think is amazing. So in our atomic, in the most microcosm of our body, but not the quantum not the quantum subatomic, the atomic. So this is in the seen, tangible, earthly dimension parts of our body and the microcosm, which takes us back again to Virgo energies of the gut biome and bacteria to lead to health, optimum health and healing. Where were we? Foundations, wasn't it? A tower can only be built as high as its foundations can stand, otherwise it will fall, be that through overreach, rough weather, or dragon attack. Know how deep your foundations lie. A lightning strike isn't something you'd take lightly, and this card suggests you're going through a challenge that's akin to a strike. You must assess the damage as well as what's been removed. Could it be doing you a favour? The old is being taken down, and knowing how to build back stronger is important. It could be that outside forces, the dragon here, are responsible for shaking things up. Identifying who or why is probably not difficult. And just to interrupt again, as Rebe was saying about us trembling, that's the authenticity and the integrity of our voice being representative of what's going on in our body, and we are being shaken up to clear out the old, to be ready to embrace the new. How to react is your choice. Courage will most definitely be required, but fighting spirit isn't all about force. Your emotional self and your conscious mind are in cahoots, so find the balance and you'll find the true power of this moment. As old structures go, new structures are built. So thank you so much, Tree of Life Oracle. They were magical readings. And then because foundation was mentioned, we're going to just read from the book of the Atomic Element Healing, the foundation card and acceptance, which was number 39 and much easier to find in the book. And we love this because it brings in the atomic symbol C and the atomic number 6. We got this in our personal reading the other day. We'll actually show something similar to this in a minute. Elemental archetype. Carbon atoms are the building blocks of life. This card has presented itself to activate your ability to feel the carbon atoms within you, pulsing, radiating, and almost seething with energy, with life force. They are life. Life would not exist if carbon did not say yes to it. Every moment of every day, carbon says yes to life, and you can too. All of the carbon in the universe is part of the being carbon's body. She is also incarnated as the Hindu goddess Parvati, who creates miracles and enhances health and longevity. She's wellness and wealth personified. And so wellness and wealth personified, we were just talking earlier about Cancer in Virgo, which is the 10 of Pentacles and has the word wealth rivet, whereas Mercury in Cancer, which is what's going on tonight, is the 3 of Cups, which has the word abundance. And we actually forgot this earlier, but we saw a little grapevine tree this morning as a first time, and all the little mini grapes. They're really cute. She's wellness and wealth personified. She deeply loves us and is here to be a foundation, like a sparkling, bejeweled, luscious lotus flower beneath each of us, made of safe, healthy patterning to help us navigate our lives as humans and multidimensional beings. So that's beautiful energy to deconstruct the old of the tower and reconstruct with this beautiful new healthy foundation. Vibrational healing message. Carbon, the being, dwells in no mind and has no judgments. She is bringing you that foundation. There is no good, bad, evolved or unevolved. There's just the present moment. Feel carbon imbue you with the foundation of presence. Feel how from that state of simply witnessing with acceptance, life can be foundationally built. The foaming cauldron of evolution on Earth was saturated with this essence of presence, including in the form of prokaryotes, Earth's earliest life forms that fed on carbon compounds that were accumulating in the Earth's early oceans. And happy Ocean Day! It's Ocean Day today, we're pretty sure. They were, so that's just, I just love the alignment. They were simply present. The organisms, the carbon, all were in no mind, creating the foundation for more kinds of life to emerge. In the present moment, we can choose to meditate in peace and joy with hopeful abandon for all that exists. May all sentient beings be free and exist in bliss. Let that be your foundation. Elevate and build from there. And the energetic healing properties is a strong base, energetic underpinning. And there's no dietary sources, but if you need a mantra or an affirmation, an incantation, it can be my foundation is strong and steadfast. It never wavers. And as a collective, our foundations are strong and steadfast. They never waver. So thank you. And so then the last card, the Wood Pig from the 5 Chinese Elements Oracle, number 12. And moving on up, the Vortex. The Wood Pig is one of the 10 highly spiritual pillars, indicating a natural connection to the spirit within. Wood, the element of new beginnings and expansion, helps us toward a path of growth, while the pig's water element brings movement and change. What you start now can manifest quickly. Such is the nature of the pig as one of the travel stars in Chinese astrology. The pig is associated with November, the beginning of winter in the Chinese solar calendar, when nature is active but getting ready to rest. Hidden yang water adds momentum, while hidden yang wood reminds us that spring, the season associated with wood element, is coming next. Where do you see yourself when spring comes? This card often appears as a sign that better days are coming. Life is a cycle, and once you have experienced rock bottom, the only other way is up. You've stepped up your frequency, and now your dreams are being manifested into reality. While others may see the positive changes happening in your life as an overnight success, you know that it's taken a lot of self-work and dedication to be where you are now. Keep moving up the vortex, your own personal path to a higher frequency, by staying positive in your outlook and doing the work needed. And a message from the heavens, Yin Wood beckons you to experience all that the world has to offer. The lessons learned will help elevate you further up the vortex. And then message from the earth, the pig represents the energy of a change agent. Recognize that all your previous efforts have prepared you well for the upcoming upward cycle. You're ready to make your impact. So, yeah, we're going to love watching these messages back later, because let's just have another drink. I don't know, there's so much good information in there that really helps affirm things for us personally. Ah. Such yummy elderflower, cordial and fizzy water. So this card here reminds us of the spiritual painting done of us, when you've actually got the woman in the middle and you've got Ganesha on one shoulder and Bastet on the other. And be still and you will see, honour the goddess within, dance and be free. So yeah, magical. Happy Mercury in Cancer, guys, and Venus in Taurus, and Jupiter in Gemini, and all the moving and shifting energies. Embrace the ride with compassion and love, and less and often is more. Much love. Bye.